Good morning, everyone. This is Dianne Cisneros, and we're going to do Dianne Will Teach Me That. Today we're going to do an Emboss Resist card, and I will show you how I made this. There is embossing here, and there's sponging, and there's stamping. So I'm going to start with Tempting Turquoise in my favorite cut that I like to do. 5.5 by 11, and it's folded and will stand up nicely. Then I also cut a piece that's 5 1/4 by 4 that will fit right on the front, and let me go ahead and do that. This is just an accent piece. And then another piece of Whisper White, this we're going to decorate. And this one is cut 5 by 3 3/4. That fits right on top of that. So, to get started, I'm going to do my embossing. And to start with, I'm going to start right off the bat using my Stamp-A-Ma-Jig. I'm going to use just any color, it doesn't matter because it washes off. I'm going to take my stamp, which is from Feels Good. This one is The Best Things in Life Aren't Things. And I've already put it on the block, but I'm not sure it's straight. So I'm going to put it in my Stamp-A-Ma-Jig right up in the corner there. Use my green or any color. Stamp it down, and now I can tell when I put it on my paper whether it's straight or not. So I'm going to pull out my what is this thing called? It's a cleaner, stamping scrub. So my stamp is clean again. We'll set this green aside. And I'm going to set this right. I'm going to put it on my pad so I know it's straight. Then I'm going to set this on here where I think it's in the center. So I'm looking here and I'm looking here, and it's about the same distance. I'm going to use my guide, and I'm going to use Versamark. And I think I will just go around so that I don't get too much on the edges. And just set it down, and you should have it right where you want it. Now the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the leaves. I'm also going to put it in, not leaves, we're using fine feathers. Haven't used this at all, so I thought this would be a good set. I'm using this little small feather, and I'm going to put one here in Versamark, and then I'm going to put one down here in Versamark. Now I'm going to bring in my white embossing powder. And I do have a little smudge on my paper, I see right there, but I think I can cover it up with this technique. Now I'm going to bring in my heat gun, and we're going to heat this. Whoop! Okay. Just until you see it looks shiny. You can go underneath and do it. If your paper starts bending, you can do it from underneath or on top. Okay. So, now we have I see a little spot that I missed. Let me get it. Right there. Okay, and like I said, there's a little smudge here, but I think we can cover it up. Okay, so now I am going to get my inks out, and the colors I'm going to use are Rich Razzleberry. I'm going to use Pear Pizzazz and Tempting Turquoise. And I picked these colors because they were on the same page together on my color, what do you call that thing? My color thing. Oh, Lord. You know what I mean. So, thank God you all know what I mean. Let's see. We're going to use Pear Pizzazz, first of all. And I've used this sponge before, but not very much. So, I'm going to tap, tap, tap here. And I'm going to go in this corner with the green because that's where my smudge is. Okay, then I want a little green down here also. Just keep turning your sponge so you don't get the same patterns going on. Okay, so now I can tell I did turquoise right here. So I'm going to go through the middle with turquoise right over that emboss. And I'm going to go pretty dark on this one. I'm turning my sponge. And I'll show you why I want it dark here in a minute. Okay, so now I want that Razzleberry, which is here. I'm going to get that up in the corner. Wrong color. Okay, so get that. I want it dark on top of that feather where that emboss is. Now I'm going to bring it down here. And you're going to see I've done a couple of cards, and then we'll compare those to this one. See which ones we like. I like it dark on top of the emboss. Now, I want a little more turquoise over here and here. Okay, so now I'm going to pull a piece of scrap paper out of the trash, which I should have done before I started. I have ink on my pad now. Okay, so I'm bringing these colors back in. I'm going to use Rich Razzleberry with this feather, this long feather. And I want to make sure I don't have a lot of lines. So I'm going to go right through the middle. Alright, so now I want that turquoise. This is kind of like a peacock feather. I'm going to check that and make sure it looks good. And I'm going to put that, let's go right here. And I'm going to do it again on this side. Okay, 2 peacock feathers. And then I have this one I'm going to do in green. So I'm going to put it in the green areas because otherwise it doesn't show. So we'll put a feather there and a feather there. And then I have this little guy, little feather, that I'm going to use the Razzleberry. So this one really shows up nice. Wherever you put it. I'm going to put one there. I'm going to put one kind of going this way. It's a nice accent. I think I'm done. Okay, so now I'm going to show you why this is called Emboss Resist. Now you see all the embossing I did with the greeting and those two feathers. Now I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm going to rub. I'm going to rub the whole thing, which takes the ink off. Well, first I'm smudging it all together, which it doesn't move much because it's dry, but I want all the ink off this embossing. So I'm going to clean my hands up and show you how this looks on the card we cut. We cut and pasted this together, and I'm going to take this one, and this has no embellishments. I wanted to put embellishments because I am an embellishment girl, so you can decide whether you want to do that or not. Let's see. There. Okay. Oh my gosh. I like this one the best. Okay. So, I'm going to show it to you a little closer. And I'm going to show you, this is the first one I showed you. And you can see as I go, I think they get better. I have a little more courage. This was my first one. Was afraid to use too much sponging. Then I got a little darker with this one. And this one's a lot darker. So you can do it the way you like. And again, these two sets are Feels Good and Fine Feathers. The colors are Tempting Turquoise, Pear Pizzazz, and Rich Razzleberry. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.